So who remembers what this is?
This is subnet mask.
Yeah, and like, what does it refer to? What does the 20 mean?
21s and the rest are zeros.
Yes. So the first step to doing this is write the subnet mask in either decimal or binary. Since we have the 20, we know there's going to be 21s. We'll just do binary first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then 4 zeros, and then 8 zeros.
Rather doing a pencil.
Okay, that is our subnet mask.
So that would be the answer if you asked for the subnet mask, is that.
I wouldn't write
Probably
that.
not.
I think I mean, maybe you could, but probably not.
Okay.
You probably want it in decimal, which we're going to do right now. So this is, I wrote these little 2s and 10s to just signify this is a decimal number, here's a binary number.
Got it.
The subnet mask, that 20 is really signifying that just the first 20 bits of that address is the network portion. So writing it in all ones is just a way for you to see it, but you would never actually write out the subnet
Got it.
mask as all
Makes
ones.
sense.
Yeah.
It's just a way for you to do it in your head.
So
Figure
this,
it out.
that one's an easy one. 255, 255. So the first 4 bits, we have 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16. Is that 224?
192, 220. I think it's 240. 240.
Oops. Oh yeah. 224 is if it's only the 3. So 240, 0. That is our subnet mask. And obviously, like, we just converted this so we know like it's a legit subnet mask. But like if you were given a subnet mask like this, like can you see that that's not a real subnet mask?
Yeah.
Because to write this out, you'd have all ones.
Zero and
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and that's, it can't be that. It has to be all ones and then all zeros. Whether the like zeros start here, here, and here doesn't matter, as long as it's like all ones, continuous ones and continuous zeros.
Why is that?
That's just how they are, yeah. I mean, that's like the definition of a subnet mask.
What does the subnet mask tell us about the
ones?
Yeah.
And then he just did
So
the
that
math.
is how you're splitting up your network.
Literally zero.
So we'll go into a little more about like the math, just like little math examples. But if you're like subnet mask, let's say like network portion is here, and this is your host portion. So you like this is all zeros. Then you'd have like a lot of networks. No, sorry, few networks with a lot of different hosts. Because look, like all these zeros would be like different combinations. But if like your subnet mask like here, like the one that we use in the lab a lot for just like private is just like 255. I hate writing this. I wish there was like a quicker way. That's going to be a lot of different networks, but on each network,
There's only a few number of those.
yeah. So that's like your host portion. Here's like your, sorry, not host.
Other way around.
Yeah, that's your network portion,
And that's your host.
your host portion. So that's basically what it tells you just by looking at it at a glance, like saying, oh, this is going to be, like I can fit a lot of hosts on this network. It's like this one, like we can fit, I mean, quite a few. We'll go over that in just a sec. So the next step to do this is to write the IP in binary. But a little like, you'll see why we can do this in a little bit. But if we write it all out in binary, then we're just going to like draw like a line right here that splits the network portion to the host portion. So since we know that like this octet is going to be in the network portion, there's really no use to write 102 in binary. It's just going to waste your time. So let's just do 102, 61. We know this octet's going to be split, so we're going to have to write 176. Yeah, 176 in binary. So that's 128. Really bad. I should have pulled up. Let me just pull up a converter. You guys, I mean, are you guys good with like binary to decimal?
Yeah.
It's just a pain.
Yeah. So I mean, like the test isn't timed, so you can just like take your time. Like it sucks, but like check your math and stuff. But I'm not going to
Should be
do it.
128, 32, 16.
Yeah.
Do you know if you're allowed to bring like a small calculator or anything?
I don't think so. I don't think we were.
1, 0,
I don't think so.
1, 0, 1. Oops, too far. 1, 1, 0, 0.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame. Oh wait, no, it's fine. Just
That's
kidding.
good.
We're good. And then this,
Very good example.
also, this is going to be host portion, so it really doesn't matter, so we don't care about that right now. We mostly just want to know where this like mask is going to like split between network portion and host portion. So we'll just write 26 for now. Okay. Everyone see how we split it? The conversion, we have like to see the split where the mask happens, or the mask shows where the split happens. So now, the next step, we have, these are the main four things you have to find. Easiest to find the network portion, the network address, then broadcast, and then these will just follow after that. So all you have to do is line up where the, oh, sorry. I kind of started talking without knowing what I was talking about. So to find the network one, you just take the network portion and then just do all zeros. So right now we have like, there's some zeros right here, but it's going to be network portion, so zeros to there. So this one's like, this is a little lame already, it's already 176. But if we were to do the network portion, I'll just write it over here. So we have like our 102.61. We have those zeros, and then this 26, oops. That's just going to be a bunch of zeros. So 102.61, 176, 0. So that one's a little boring, but the broadcast one will be a little more interesting. So now, broadcast is just the exact opposite. So take your network portion, keep it how it is, and then for the host portion, do just all ones. So all ones in this block, that's pretty easy. That's going to be 2555. I might add an extra one, it doesn't matter. You know what it is. But this will also be all ones, so everything to the right of the cutoff will be ones.
Okay.
So now adding up this one will be a little more tricky.
Which is 255 minus
Everything minus
128,
Yeah.
or minus 64.
Everything minus 64, which is,
I have no idea.
199, 189. We'll get it. Here we are, 255 minus 65. No,
190.
64.
I can't do math.
Who's got it? 191.
I got 191.
yeah, 191.
Okay.
I said 191. Yeah, I just backwards. I was doing 65.
Okay, so this number was just because that's all ones, we know that one. This one, we just took this portion, did all ones from there. So that is a broadcast. So every like network has like the network address and the broadcast address, like the address used if you like broadcast everyone on the. I'm not positive exactly what it's for besides that, just like when you're sending messages out to everyone, but it's like necessary. So after you got those, these other ones are super easy. So if this is where the network starts and this is where it ends, like what's the first address going to be?
102.61.1761.
Yes, all that, 1,
And then all of that 255?
254.
1 before and 1 after.
Yep, so just like the one right after and the one just before the end.
Would you ever have one where, like say our broadcast ended in a 0, would you ever have to go back to the previous unit?
I don't know if the broadcast can end in 0.
Broadcast would never end in a 0.
Broadcast always has ones.
And network would never end in a 255?
No.
No,
Okay.
because
Unless
just-
the only way that would be is if the subnet mask is straight 255 across, and you just have
Yeah,
one
and it's like-
address,
And you just have one address, which is the same for everyone.
which wouldn't be a network anymore.
yeah, it's not really a real thing. But yeah, because like the broadcast is just straight ones.
Right, and the network.
Network
At the very
straight
least, the
zeros.
last number would be a 1 on the network and a 0 for the broadcast.
So if it asked like, given this network, or, so this is just like an IP that's on the network. So this is just like a host computer that's on this network. Because see, it's like a 176.26, so it's between this range.
Mhm.
So like if it said like, what's the network? You don't want to put this again. This is just like what you use to find what network it belongs to.
Right.
And then it could also ask a question like, now look at this computer, 61, and just like at first glance, like if you didn't do this whole subnetting thing and they said, are they on the same network?
No.
You're like, oh, maybe, I don't know, but clearly they're not because this one is on the one above it. And that's below.
But he can, so on the test though,
Let's put the cap on.
you might get something like this. 2.61.1, 4.30, whatever, that's a 7. And he's gonna ask you, are those on the same, is this, don't worry about this one, is that and this on the same network?
No,
No, why not?
because 174 is below the network range.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what I'm next. Oh, I remember. You could also ask, like, given this network, like, here's the network right here. How many hosts are on this network? You don't want to count that. So the way you do it, these are like, so remember, this is like our host range. Sorry, I get those mixed up. These are the network bits. These are the host bits. So there are 16 of those, not 16. There are 12 of those. And so to find it, you do 2 to the 12 minus 2. So, do you know, like, do you see what the minus 2 is for?
Mm-hmm. The broadcast and network, right?
So yeah, it's the network and the broadcast. Because like, this is gonna give us, you know, I mean, just 2 to the 12 will give us a bunch of numbers. But the minus 2 says we don't want to use the network or the broadcast. And like, obviously he's not gonna make you do that math. You can just write out, yeah. You could just write, like, I'm not sure if he will do a question like that, but he can.
Okay.
It was on that worksheet he gave out. So yeah, if you just wrote like 2 to the 12 minus 2. When it comes to, so same subnet, and if he said like how many networks are on, or yeah, how many networks can like use this subnet or whatever, it'd be similar except without the minus 2. So you would do, is that 20? Oh yeah, 20 obviously. That would just be 2 to the 20th. You don't minus the 2 there.
If you ask what, you don't mind.
Number of
How many networks? Like given these like network bits. That's on your worksheet too. I just know someone asked me about that last review, about like why that minus 2 was there. Yeah.
On the worksheet too, it also says number of subnet bits and number of host bits. Is that just counting those?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Let me see it.
Yeah, sure. This is right here.
Yeah. So like those
So that'll
are
just
the,
be 20 and 12.
yeah, these are the subnet bits.
Cool.
Like the bits that were used to make the subnet mask, and these are the host bits.
Got it.
But yeah, that's honestly it.
Sorry. So left is the subnet bits, right is the host bits.
Yeah,
Got it.
subnet host. Or I think you can call it network too.
Right.
So, I mean, that's honestly all you would need to know. There's a lot goes into it, like if you can't do the conversions, you're in trouble. Knowing just the private range, that's like a really simple thing to memorize that you can get easy points on. And then the steps too, to do this.
Will we expect to see this more on like the essay type
Yeah.
questions?
Well-
Or the multiple choice?
He could do I don't think he would do like a full problem like this, multiple choice, but he could give you something like this, like, hey, is this allowed on the internet? Like, true or false? And now it's an easy one, because that's just like that's a public IP.
This will for sure be on the free response though.
Yeah.
Going through what we just did here.
Yeah, and that'll be like, I forgot exactly how it's formatted, but yeah, it's like right now.
I think it's really similar to how we started out. He will give you an IP address with the subnet, and then you have to come up with the network address, the broadcast address, probably the first and last,
Yeah, and then he might ask you like a question after about it, like,
and the
is
subnet
this
mask.
something or whatever. Yeah.
So what are the private ranges?
They're on a slide.
Yeah, they're on the slide. I can write them real quick, because they're, so you have 10.
It's pretty much the whole 10 range.
Yeah, so basically 10.00 all the way to 10, 255 all the way up, and then is it 172.16 to
172.31.
31?
31.
31, 25525, whatever, and then 192.168 to 192.
168.255.
Yeah.
2550.
So I like to scribble that because you can look it up, but and then there's like class D
Thank you.
private ones, but I don't think
Yes.
that's, yeah, no problem. I think just these are the ones you need to know.
On the worksheet, it does ask us to label the like the class of the IP address. Should we
Okay.
memorize those ranges as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Josh mentioned in the review yesterday that those are kind of like old school,
Right, they don't really do anything.
but yeah, I mean, it's
I would
not,
know them, yeah.
Okay.
you can memorize them or you can just memorize how they're defined. So like, it's all about like the leading bits of the first number.
Right.
So if you like, class A just goes everywhere, like
Starts with a 0, yeah.
it goes, I don't want to write all the zeros,
Yeah.
but has a 0, so that means it goes 0 to 127. But the second that, or technically 126, because 127 is the loopback. But the second that first bit becomes a 1, then it's a B. And so that's
And then C is 1, 1.
128 to 192. Well, 191.
Yeah, 191.255, yeah.
Because the second it becomes the first two bits, 128, 64, then that becomes 192. And that, yeah. These are the big three, but if he did happen to ask you about D or E,
You just keep that.
you could just do the same math.
Okay.
But yeah, that is important to know. Okay, should we go through another example?
Yes.
Just because
Yeah, listen to the
we're here. We should check our answers because I haven't pulled up. Check. No. Show. Yes, we did it. Okay. Do you guys have a preference, like a one with like a bigger subnet or like a smaller subnet?
Which one's harder?
I don't really think there's a difference.
Okay.
I just asked for fun, I guess.
Alright.
Yeah, just do a subnet that's not like 8,
Yeah.
16,
those ones
24,
are-
32.
Actually, those ones always kind of trip me up.
Oh, maybe we can do it.
Just because they're so simple. Let's do it just, it's 24 without a split? Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Or should I try to get a 16?
Do 16 if you can. We've done a lot of like later subnets.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, there we go. This one website I use, you can't like choose your own, so you just have to like randomize until you get a 16.
Just keep going until you get one.
Yeah. Okay, 86, 128, 221. I already like this one, the 128. That's going to be fun to write. 16, okay. So you can already tell that that's like 16 is a split right on the octets. So, to write this subnet, this is my shorthand I just made up. Zeros, zeros. 8 ones, 8 ones, 8 zeros, 8 zeros. Because even if I were to write it, like you wouldn't be able to see it because it just gets so crazy. And our split, we're splitting at 16. So go 1 through 8, 9 through 16. We're going to split it right there. That is what separates our subnet bits or our network bits and our host bits. So the IP is going to be, I guess I kind of lied saying we're going to write this in decimal because we're not. Because we don't really need to, because the only reason you need to like write it in decimal is so you can like split on the subnet, because when the subnet like splits on an octet, then you need to like write it on decimal, but in this case we don't have to.
Okay.
We will, I know I'll write it right now because I'm going to erase it just in a sec. But this is what this IP is as we kind of split. So you can see these two octets are in the network subnet portion. This is in the host portion. So what is the network address for this?
86, 128, 00.
Yes. So we just do everything from the split over, just zeros. So this is why these are like kind of lame. Lame isn't easy. For some reason I would always like wig myself out with doing them because I'm like, can't be this easy. So what's the broadcast?
86, 128, 255, 255.
Yep, 255, 255. And then, what will be the first host?
86, 128, 01.
01, and then last host?
254.
Yeah, so these are really easy. It is, I mean, other things on the test, like, it's easy to make a mistake, like, just remember your -1, +1. And just remember host, network is just zeros all the way over, broadcast, ones all the way over. So,
The other thing I'd be worried of, we've asked you like a lot of times, like, is this address valid on the internet? And like this one it is, but he might give you the network or the broadcast address, and the question is this valid on the network? In which case it would be no, because it's not a valid host.
yeah.
So just watch your wording on that, because it might be a public IP, but if it's the network or the broadcast address based on the subnet that he gave you, it's not technically a valid host, right? Does that make sense?
If the question was, is this valid on the internet, and it was the network address, would it be valid?
I don't think so, not if it's the network or the broadcast. Do you know, Davis? I don't think he'll ask that.
Yeah.
My guess is if he does that, it'll be a private IP anyway.
Okay.
This isn't, investment banking club, is it?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm in the wrong place.
Hopefully it's not, because we don't actually have them.
Don't think so. What time? Do you know what time it was supposed to be at?
Huh?
Do you know what time that was?
I think it's at 7? Could be wrong.
You could be right.
No, we don't technically have this room reserved. It's just our typical classroom, so. But no one else has showed up yet, so. Okay. Okay, all right.
Well, in case we get kicked out, we're just going to blow through one more problem. That is probably more, not as lame as the other one. Oh, 225. $225, 140. Does anyone come write it up on the board, take turns on it, or just want me to watch me
Or you can
write
try
it?
it on your own and then we can go over it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe everyone should try it on their own, yeah.
Okay, are we done, or at least got the subnet mask? Good, that is the first step, so if you skip that, you'd probably be a little in trouble. I'm just gonna like slowly start doing it on the board. If you haven't got it yet, just don't look up. Are we good? Okay. I'll just walk through it. So you see how I got the subnet? I counted out 14 ones. You can see it kind of splits right here in the middle of the second octet. Not all the way in half, but kind of 3/4 the way down. So this one's a good example because the other ones where we split, we had like zeros here, so it wasn't as interesting. So these are obviously going to just be zeros for a network portion. But this is also going to be 0 too. Which means we'll have 83. And this was 241 before, but this is now 0, so it's going to be 240. And then zeros for the other two. For broadcast, those are both just going to be 255. But these two are going to be ones because everything to the right will be ones, which means it'll be 240 plus 3. So 83, 243, 255, 255. This will be that plus 1, and this will be that minus 1. Did we get it?
Can you do the
First
mask
part.
too?
The which part?
The mask.
Yeah. So 14. We're just going to count out 14 ones. And so that's 8 ones, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Sorry.
And then 0, 0.
Can you do the decimal form for mask as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So 255, and this is going to be 255 minus 3, 252, and then zeros for the rest.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check.
Yeah, that's good, because if you did ask for the mask, you would write it like that, not like that. And yeah, you'll recognize like, if there's questions about like, is this a valid mask? We talked about how it's just like continuous ones and continuous zeros. Because of that, like, there are only 8 different numbers that will be allowed, like a 0, 128, 192, 224, 240. So like, these numbers will be familiar, but there's no point in memorizing them, just like know the rule of continuous ones and continuous zeros. But yeah, that's the mask. In decimal, network, broadcast, we can say, well, 823, oops, 242, 13.1 be in the network.
Yes.
Yep, because it is between. If it was 244,
Yeah.
nope, because that's outside. And this IP is valid on the internet?
Yes.
Yes. Because it's an 83. Sweet, I don't really think there's anything else.
The only other thing
Need
he
to
might
know.
ask is he might give you a subnet mask like 255.241.0.0 and ask you if it's a valid subnet mask. You guys remember how to know if it's valid
Oh, yeah, I
subnet
just went
mask
over
or not?
that.
Oh, you just did?
Put
Yeah,
it
I
into
just missed
binary and do
Yep.
the continuous ones and zeros. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I missed that. Yep.
Yeah, so if
Good
he
job.
like gave you this, you would just transfer to binary and you say, yep,
Make sure that it's all ones.
ones, zeros. And I mean, there's a chance he'll give you like this IP and then this subnet and tell you to find these. Giving you this subnet or this number, it's the same thing. It's a lot easier to write it like that.
So a decimal subnet mask of like 253 would be invalid, right?
Yes,
Okay.
because that would be
101.
written out like that,
Got it.
and that kind of splits up the.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. Any other questions? If not, I think, yeah, I think someone sent out in the class sent out like a practice page.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I put them on Learning Suite. The
Yeah.
links for them.
I mean, you could just like, I like use another one. They're the same. It just gives you like an IP, and then you can just like do the practice problems.
Okay.
So I mean, like do one or two of those till like you know that you can do it without making a mistake, and you'll be fine. On the subnet portion. Still study the other things too.
Do you know how many questions like normally he makes us do of this? Should I curious?
Oh, of this stuff?
Yeah, is it just gonna be like one? Is he gonna have a couple?
There might be like one or two multiple choice about like
Mm-hmm.
valid subnet or like is this an allowed address. But then for the free response, it'll be like probably like a page,
Okay.
and it'll be like a big problem like this, like find me these 4 addresses, and then maybe like 1 or 2 questions about it.
Okay.
Where it's
Well,
like,
and it might be, what I think was our here is it's one question like this where you find everything, and then like another small question where it just asks like if 2 addresses are on the same
Yeah.
network or
So
something.
is this one question?
yeah, this would be like,
It'd be worth multiple points.
Right.
Yeah, but it would be
Didn't
one
you say
question.
there's like 50 questions on the test or something?
I think about like 50
multiple
multiple choice.
choice.
Okay.
Then there's gonna be like,
8, 9 for response.
yeah, like there's gonna be like a Nat and Pat one,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like exactly, it's gonna be exactly like the lab. Where it says, you're sending a message to Google, tell me what happens here, what's the port here, what's the port
Right.
coming back? You know that one?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that'll be one, and then like this will be
That'll be one,
one.
this will be
And then there
one.
might be one that's like, show me what happens when you make an ARP request.
Okay. And would we just write out like the SYN, ACK, fin, whatever?
Yeah, maybe.
That's a TCP.
Oh, is
one.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, ARP is like the who is at.
Who?
And
who
would we
is-
literally just write out like who is tell blah blah blah?
I think I remember ours was like, describe what happens.
Okay.
And so you could do words or you could say like, more like verbose like Wireshark terms is
Okay.
fine. I mean, follow the question, maybe he wants to format it differently, but yeah, so it'll be like, it's definitely subnet 1, a NAT, you know,
ARP.
Google Web Server thing. I don't know about the ARP,
Okay.
but one similar like that, like
Sure.
explain a
Like an
concept
idea
from
of
the
what
lab.
could- Yeah.
And there could be like also like, what's the difference between like logical addressing and physical addressing?
Oh yeah, and like you explain it in words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
It's more like conceptual, like written.
Yeah,
stuff.
there'll be a couple just like really short answer, just like a sentence or two.
We don't have to write like.
No, there's no like big paragraph ones. Except do you remember on our final there's just like a big page and it said draw everything we learned in class.
Oh,
I drew an awesome picture. I remember I was like so proud of my picture.
I bet that's on the final again.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Maybe I spoiled the big surprise.
I'm okay with that. You can spoil all the surprises.
I mean, it doesn't really tell you what to put because it's super subjective. But
Do you guys know about how long the test should take on average?
I heard from last review that someone heard that Kettle said about like an hour and a half. No, he said 2 hours.
I think he said hour and a half to 2.
Did he say hour and a half?
Hour
Hour and
he
a
said
half
hour
to
and a
two?
half to 2.
I'd imagine that.
It's not
The
time.
multiple choice will
That's
probably
not-
take you like 30 minutes, and then it just kind of maybe 30, 40 minutes
Yeah,
if you
I
get stuck
mean-
in some. But then it depends on how fast you can do.
I'm
binary,
slow at
pretty
this
much.
because like I like have to write out like every binary
Yeah, that's
thing
what
and
I
all the
did, too.
addition and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
I would
not
imagine an hour and a
it's
half.
not terrible.
Cool. We'll survive.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep.